It's like a demon's trying to keep control over its livestock. And years ago, it wasn't a big deal. But now everything is about skin color. And there's an aspect of America that is angry that these conversations are being had. I mean, there's no reason for someone to get angry if someone's expressing their experience. I believe most of the men in general are acting in a unconscious manner. That doesn't make me anti-man. I'm male. I'm not pro-transgender. I'm not LGDYQBT. I'm a human being. And what I believe now more than ever, unfortunately, in this physical world, but that's just how things are. Most of you got to be born in certain experiences to go through certain challenges to know what those challenges are like. Otherwise, most people just go through life with blinders on. Now, there's a lot of toxic things going on in the media and a lot of counterfeit grievances. And this is being done to make people angry. So people get angry with anyone that they hear sharing their view on anything, create this animosity between the perception of races. Is it Julie Borowski, a libertarian commentator? I'm sure I got her name close. And she was posting. And so the next thing people are going to be saying is you're racist if you don't want to be with someone other than your race. Now, what I want to say is, why is there this obsession with these beliefs in certain races? How does, for example, someone become another race than their mother simply because of where their father's from? That's where the white genocide nonsense is coming from, unfortunately. And that's an attack on women that have done what they wanted with their body. And I look around at both my mother's family and my father's family. I don't see authors. The only author of my father's family is the same combination of genetics that I happen to be. And he's not just the author of one book. He's not just the author of two books, but he is the author of dozens and dozens of books. I think about the stuff that I'm going to read in the future. In particular, I meant write a book about my story. But there's just been this heavy brainwashing regarding multiculturalism, even though you have people that are of the same culture. And I want people to really pay attention. For example, look at how many people are thumbing down these videos with glee. How many of you are supporting these videos? And now people are dropping out and, ooh, it's not about geopolitics and it's not about off-grid all the time. It's about real life. It's about why I've gone off-grid, why I've chosen to live outside of your society. And it's like antiseptic or something on a wound. Nothing wrong, though, with a little antiseptic. I think the information that I'm sharing stings, but it's not meant to harm you. It's not meant to attack you. This program of deception is going to turn around and bite America in the ass. So we go back to the first things that I was discussing when I started my video series, moving into the 2007 time period, moving into the 2008 period, and we're talking about World War III, this upcoming war with China. And a lot of people then weren't able to see how there could be this battle of titans. But there certainly is a case being built up against the U.S. military. It's not stopping the murders, and it's not going to stop any murders in the future, but they can still build up a case against the United States. And it's painful because I will say that the empathy that I'm feeling from women in general is at an all-time low. And I'm scared because I'm afraid that it's going to bottom out later, that we're not bottomed out yet. Everything has a reaction, cause and a reaction. Apathy has a reaction. Genocide has a reaction. And there are other people out there that are posting about this on this 4th of July. While bombs drop in the Middle East, people listen to their fireworks simulating these bombings, the very things that I've been discussing today. Mint Press News coming out with a meme a few hours ago. What about women's rights, real women's rights, feminists, when you have these women being killed in the Middle East. Instead, you have these, here's Hillary Clinton, here are these other individuals. But it's not just Hillary Clinton. It's these perceived strong women and culture types on the right when they are also a part of the destruction of America and making whores out of America's daughters. I don't cease to be troubled by this reality and the fact that I'm here sometimes. I'm glad I'm not hearing a bunch of simulations of bombs going off and other things like that. I just can't understand sometimes, but I can. But I just wish it wasn't the case. I can't believe that our society is this unconscious. I can't believe that loving females are this absent from our society and our lives. And I see the comments, and there's nothing that I can do to talk sense into those that want to see Americans hurt. I'm like, no, 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 that's the plan for them to make America the boogeyman, boogie woman, and then build up China and Russia. And they're like, we don't care. America needs to be stopped. Russia needs to drop some bombs on the United States. And it's like it's building. And I live in different worlds, literally. I don't mean literally in a metaphysical sense. I mean, as far as schools of thought and research. So I'm talking about this stuff that some of you may not like, but what's not to like about my warnings for America about how people are propping up these other nations and bringing America down. And America's being destroyed by design. America for sale. Will there ever be an American for sale? Is there any hope in me reaching more people in the future? Or my views and ratings and support, is it really going to continue to go like this because I'm bringing up issues regarding people that are being put into this box as Muslim or this, that, and the other? It's really coming down to this. And because I'm not a Muslim, I can't reach the Islamic world. I get to remain in my own little box over here by myself, me, myself, and I, sitting here in this 10 by 12 shed, celebrating the 4th of July on this July 4th, 2017. Cheers to that. Coffee tonight, no alcohol. Alcohol is not a regular part of my life, anyways. And yes, reflecting again on 4th of July, many people being pulled over tonight, and it's like a machine. There's a certain amount of people that are going to drink. There's a certain amount of people that are going to get drunk, and they're going to be noticeably drunk. So, got to put a cap on that ass, right? Got to pull them over. Got to make some money, baby. Got to make some money, baby. And I'm not entirely anti-cop, although there's some bad cops out there that'll do things to innocent people because of their prejudice or other. So you got a state police officer who sits down the road not too far from here, on the freeway, that is, or highway. And then somebody will come from Texas thinking they own the place in their big monster truck. Yes, Texans love their big trucks with their big wheels, or maybe their Mercedes, new Cadillac looking vehicle doing 80, 85, maybe one of those fancy vehicles where they got like a monitor and a video camera that you can see right behind them. That type of thing. Maybe a DVD player. Maybe a car phone. Oh, yeah, I got the freedom. Oh, yeah. Oh, but just pay the ticket. No big deal. I got insurance. I'm rich, biatch. Just continue on with your 4th of July festivities. God bless America. And then here's one. What is up with all the pyro like obsession worship? Like, oh, founding fathers, they really couldn't like have picked a better day than July 4th. Okay, so it was July 4th, Independence Day. Did we then have to carry on a tradition of simulating, bombs going off and lighting fires and things of that nature and supporting the Chinese fireworks industry? Because it really should be called Chinese Fireworks Industry Day. It's industry night. All these imported fireworks from China, simulated bombings and wars during the height of fire season. So There shouldn't be any sound of any fireworks going on outside, but we're going in the dark ages socially. Apparently, the human being is something that can be taken to some outrageous levels of mind control before the women, before the men um, wake up in masses. Says something's wrong. It's like things have to get worse before they get better. America's going into sex slavery. America's going into the dark ages. Americans, American women, American men, they do not have the consciousness currently to support those voices that want to help them, that have accurately warned them about previous things. There's something about just us as humans that is so easy to be misled into these traps of worship. And as people worship, literally people like Alex Jones, they think they've escaped the football paradigm. They think they've woken up. They think they've exited the left right paradigm, only to be led right back in the left right paradigm. So I know a lot of you are turned off by even hearing about the word reptilian, but some sort of a metaphor. Like we think of humans as being of a certain kind or nature. I think there is a good within us. But for the most part, this is like a physical beast realm where most people are going to be on beast autopilot, echoing what I said about the biological imperatives. Women are not attracted to good men or supporting good men now on this planet. They did more of that during the Bush years and elements of the Obama years. Right now, we're going into frightening levels to where I can post something on Facebook unless someone or a female or a male or someone is actively seeking out my stuff. Very few people are seeing my content. Very few people are seeing my content on the YouTube feed. I had someone tell me today they haven't seen my posts in years. A woman today said she hasn't seen my posts in years. And I post several times a day, and I'm thinking, are people just ignoring these posts, or are they just not seeing them? So I think people aren't really getting this. They're not understanding how quickly some of us are being erased. When you've heard me speak in the past, I asked you to sign up for the newsletter or join the forum, but specifically the newsletter, so I can send you videos directly. Okay? That wasn't some sort of a marketing scheme to get rich quick and then use your email or sell your email or send you a bunch of advertisements for some horrible food storage, which isn't worth what we're asking or what's being asked. But others do that. They do that all the time. It would be nice in my lifetime to see some positive responses from this world's men and women, people willing to help, people sharing the videos, people wanting to plan conferences, people with the financial means, and also the interest on a volunteer coordinating level to want to put something positive together. And I look around this world and it's like, I don't know what kind of word you want to use, reptilian, archonic, anti-human, but you look at a lot of these movements and I just see a greed that runs through it. So I'll use the term reptilian as an adjective or a metaphor, for lack of a better terminology. And I'm troubled because it is like that scene from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, without the drugs. Walk into a bar or a certain situation, and I would say a lot more people are starting to see reality like this as they wake up. And they feel the energy of those around them, and it's like mating animals, regardless of how beautiful the female might be. That's why when those of us males become more conscious regarding what's going on. We don't want to be in a sex starved or sex slavery mentality. There's a number of ways someone can participate in sexual slavery, not just making someone else their slave, but being a slave to someone else so they can get sex. It takes a more powerful man to be who he is and to be more invested in his soul than to be acting like a crackhead, going from woman to woman, orgasm to orgasm, game after game after game. So she, men and women continue to get what they want from other men and women. So as we look at this 4th of July, what do we see? We see how many people don't realize that we don't have any independence. We see how angry people are if they're reminded about how plasticky their reality is, how horrible their food is, that there's aspartame in their drink, that there's corn syrup in their drink, that there's unhealthy hormones in their meat. They don't want to hear about it anymore. Love it or leave it. Love it or leave it. And I haven't yet made a whole dedicated video to this, but a few points. At what point did people forget that there is something such as an independent? I don't mean an independent voter. I mean an independent thinker who's not going to participate in picking masters. And I brought this up and I brought this up and I brought this up before the selection of Donald Trump, because it was a selection that I called. And I even said it almost seems as if people would be happier if someone just voted for Hillary Clinton. People often say, oh, you didn't vote. Well, you don't have a right to say anything. You shouldn't be saying anything. You didn't vote. Well, what are they saying? Are they saying they would have rather we voted for Hillary Clinton, which we didn't? Many of us didn't, because there is no respect in our society for anti-big government researchers, lecturers, people outside of the big talk circuit, big boys. There's all this social pressure that was thrown out like I woke up in a fascist universe. What else are we going to do? You want Hillary? I mean, I'm thinking, what kind of thinking is this? What kind of a human consciousness, what kind of a movement, a mass vox populi would say on cue, well, are you for Hillary? Just like the Obama supporters asking, it's like people forgot about this. Have people forgotten about what some of us went through when we were accused of being racist for not supporting Barack Obama? And they're still doing that. They're still doing that. But here's what's distressing. Some people didn't like Obama specifically because he was black. And that's the thing that looks bad. It looks bad to be critical of Obama, to be for Trump when we have some of the same policies. That looks real bad. Not everybody does that. Some people do that. So what if Donald Trump is getting rid of Obamacare? Are they still murdering innocent men, women, and children in the Middle East? Yes or no? It's not the deep state that's giving the commands. This is just simply power of suggestion. The deep state, the deep state. Soros. Lately, the Soros is behind everything conspiracy seems to have dwindled. In fact, in the last month, it seems that claims that the protesters are being paid by Soros, it's like certain claims are so out there that they'll work for a while. Those conspiracy theories will sizzle for a while until that meat becomes burnt. And it's no longer juicy. It's no longer something you want to take a bite out of. Now it's as hard as a bone. And all the fluids have just been cooked out, and it's just a hard piece of meat. And now it's starting to spoil. So there's so many people offering up that spoiled meat. Soros is behind it all. Soros is behind it all. And there's no room left in the imagination for there to be controlled chaos, for someone to be upset on an organic level. Look at how the language has digressed to baby talk, libtard, and right-wing extremists. It's the same thing, whether someone is, calling white men terrorists or someone's calling the other group terrorists, really doesn't matter whether you're pitching from the left or the right. And see, if I would just pick one of your sides, I would have your support. And I at least want people to document that I played this role, that I spoke against the left and the right, and so few do. Look at the people that are on YouTube. I really would challenge you. I would challenge you to listen carefully to the people on YouTube and listen carefully. Are they kind of leaning towards one side being the unconscious side, and the other political side being the more aware, being the more loving? So we have a left and a right, and both the left and the right have people investing a lot of money. And those people that would invest a lot of money, they will advertise on those programs that are left or right, Democrat or Republican, that are going to promote their brand. If you're going to pitch pro-Trump, see, some people that I feel knew better, but apparently didn't. I've seen how, like Gary Franchi and others, their views, their ratings, their subscribers, how they had a upward curve just by being in support of Donald Trump and staying with the clearly laid out talking points. They don't have to be agents of Russia. They can be agents of traditional human greed, but not just for $5. And by the way, folks, this is all I'm asking people to contribute per month. And there's a few dozen that are contributing at outsofthebox.vhx.tv at $4.95 per month. That's 16 cents per day, about the cost of a cup of coffee or a couple cups of coffee per month. So I appreciate those of you that are taking part in this energetic construct, that are taking part in the support of independent grassroots media, because I lived through this. The most popular time for me to be doing what I was doing, we have to go back to George Bush. And I literally sat there and exposed Obama in Obama territory. And I get to live to this day knowing that that meant nothing. It means nothing to the Trump supporters that would throw me the bus that I actually had the balls and bravery to speak to those Obama supporters all those years about this fake Obama hypnosis and how it's a lie to say that people are racist if they don't support Obama. What about the deaths in the Middle East? What about the drones? What about the central bank influence? What about Goldman Sachs? What about Monsanto? What about these things? What about these things? And so I've been dealing with this drawn out double blow, uppercut from society. Society from the left comes and they, bam, hit me with brass knucks in the ribs. You piece of shit, right wing, racist bastard, Alex Ansary. But I maintain my independence. And I maintain my independence. And I maintain my independence. And I call Trump before he's elected. And I'll say there'll be a staged conflict with China and Russia down the line once we go deeper into debt. And everything I warned you about is happening. And my numbers are going down. I'm becoming invisible on the internet. I'm asking for your support to not let me just disappear. Now, I would like to know who are the others. I want to find the others. I want to know who the other people are that are speaking about the things that I speak of, because when I look on YouTube, and it doesn't matter who it is, you look at these heavy hitting YouTube channels, and if they're discussing, I don't like to see that C word, conspiracy, but they bastardized it. So much this alternative media has been co-opted. How many heavy hitters in the alternative media do you know that called Donald Trump as a selection and has continued to stay true to themselves and the morals, the values, the integrity that they purported, that they claimed to have 5 years earlier when they were waving a flag for Ron Paul? Can you tell me? Because when I look, I see really successful people that got behind Donald Trump because that's what their audiences wanted. And those that didn't get in line were thrown under the bus. And all I see society doing, whether it be Portland or somewhere else, is gathering together over who they hate, over who they really hate, over who they even want to kill. And they have no time for the people that never got behind Donald Trump or other hate campaigns. They have no time to listen to the voices of minorities with regards to another way of looking at the situation other than responding to Trump supporters with calls for violence, calling them Nazis, attacking them in the streets. And who are you seeing behind this? Predominantly white people. They have their token minorities. In Portland, they have tiny. On the Trump supporter side, on the anti-Fa side, they have Louise, I believe Martinez. Most of them are on their way to becoming thugs. As I see 20-year-old Tiny, I realize this guy's too young to realize he's being used. And he's in love literally with his own ego as a young, badass dude who literally has the ability to F up anybody on the left or the right. I'm well familiar with the ferociousness of the Samoan Islander. I've been well told about what some of those dudes are capable of. I mean, a baseball bat to the head won't drop some of those dudes. Okay. So what I see are gangs. I see gangs with their colors, and they're mobilized in the streets, ready to battle with their capes, helmets, sticks, mace, brass knuckles, to fight the other group. But what issues are even being raised about the economy, about homelessness, about our own government outsourcing military technology that has ended up in the hands of North Korea, that has ended up in the hands of the communist Chinese? Have you ever heard anyone spout intellectualism or facts? And it's like junkies. People are literally coming down with their cameras, and it becomes part of a movement for people to film the fight, fight, fight. And today there's going to be fresh fights, and they're going to go up on YouTube. Are you going to be there to watch them on the Robert West channel? And it's like a guilty pleasure. It's like I'm analyzing society. But I'll tell you what, it's like eating a bunch of donuts. It's like fast food. Yes, there's a little bit of entertainment. It's not real nourishment. It's filling our mind up with junk, and it hurts. It really hurts. And then we see these women that have become so unconscious that they're going out and they're starting full-blown fights with men playing these games. And I don't like the Trump supporters, but some of the points that were made, right, that you heard yourself on this channel and some of the videos that I uploaded, those points need to be made about the women that'll start a fight with a man and then expect their boyfriend or some other guys to come to their aid. Or they act surprised when a man hits them back. See, people shouldn't be doing that. People shouldn't be playing games. People shouldn't be bringing their children to protests. People shouldn't be going to protests and blocking traffic. There's many ways to protest and cause a disturbance, but also get out a message. You can be irritating, you can cause a disturbance, and I'm not saying that I've done it perfectly. But those people can put on a show and say the things through those megaphones, whoever it is, right or left, if they had the passion and they had the focus and they have the true independent thought. They could grab that megaphone and speak before the people. These are the issues that we're dealing with. Why are we fighting each other? Instead, that megaphone is used to go whenever someone tries to talk, anti-flag tries to drown them out. Where is the intellectual dialogue? Been carrying this pain for years about what I feel is going to be coming to this nation, how people are going to be affected. And the pain has been magnified by feeling hated by society, distrusted by its women, ignored by its women, ignored by my audience. All I've seen are the things that I've warned you about come to fruition, all the way up until this point. Now, remember my forecast, World War III by 2025. At that point, we're looking at an occupation of U.S. soil. And the main micro wars that we would be experiencing, aside from defending our physical stuff for those women without protectors, for example, they would be targets. But for the men of our society, with women, with daughters, with wives, that would be the number one thing that they would be pre-consumed with watching over. And it comes natural. It comes very natural to want to defend your own. And it's not going to be easy for some men to defend their own when they're overwhelmed by numbers and forces and violence and other dangerous men. They're going to walk right all over them. What's going to be the difference between the experience that one man has in his family and another man has in his family? These things I do not know. I certainly do not believe that every person that suffers at the hands of a demon of this world deserves it. And this is often the way the archons come to us and speak to us, these counterfeit spiritual teachers. Oh, we deserved it. It's our karma. See, I believe karma exists, and I believe that it's real. But the awareness of karma is not to be used to point our freaking fingers and give an excuse why we're not coming to the aid of those people that are being victimized before our very eyes. And it's the bystander effect. We live in a nation now where American men and women of various ethnicities are literally gyrating. They're getting hard and they're getting wet tonight. The vibration of bombs going off and very hot weather. Maybe go have a drink, maybe go walk around the downtown area with less clothing and look like a sex machine hot body. Don't think about those bombs dropping in other cities. Just get that little drink, get that little buzz on to a certain level, get that boom, 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 get that bass going. Better get that bass going. Better get that bass going. So perhaps I'll come back with more later as we contemplate what does it mean to be independent from the hive mind collective. And I would say that the bulk of this hive mind collective, it's not evolving beyond this matrix. So if they want to go down with the ship, a whole lot of souls going down, or we could even say leaving in a ship. Go on and do it. Go on and sell your soul. Okay. I'm having no part of it. I'm going to speak against what they're doing until I draw my last breath in this human form. And that's the end of it.